handstand warm-up slash wrists. Yep. So we're gonna start off just working some mobility into the wrists, some gentle circles from a quadruped position. I want you to spread your fingers out and give some gentle gripping action into your mat as you do this. Get 5 in one direction and then spin 5 in the other direction. First, it's just really basic palms down, fingers forwards. And then we're gonna flip, and I'm gonna have to take my watch off in a second. Now palms down, fingers backwards. Starting to feel some stuff. But you're in charge of A, how much you are rotating, and B, how much weight you're putting onto your hands. So in this setup, I'm putting a fair amount of weight on my hands, but I can narrow the stance a little bit and bring more weight into my feet and hips, as you can see, and then it becomes a little bit less daunting for my wrist to do. So 5 in each direction with this setup, and then we're gonna switch. I'm gonna switch my mic because I'm gonna be talking towards the camera and I don't wanna talk away from the mic. Third setup is palms still down. You're gonna internally rotate your arms so that your fingers are more or less facing your opposite knee. You're gonna get that on both sides and then make some circles. Three, 4, 5, and then repeat same thing other side. Beautiful. Okay. Now it starts to get fun. You guys that worked out with me live know what's coming next. Definitely gonna take my watch off now. We're gonna go palms up, fingers backwards. Whoop. And now it can be work just to get your arms straight and to get the entire surface of the back of your hand onto the mat. So do those things first. And if you, like I said, if you can choke up so that way there's less weight on your wrists directly, then by all means do that. You want the back of your hand to be on the mat fully. You want to have your arms straight and you want to be able to turn the crease of your elbows towards the front. And if you've got all that, then you can start to make real gentle circles. And try and relax the rest of your body. Don't be all scrunched up with your shoulders and your ears. Try and be relaxed through your neck, back, and hips while you do this. 5 in each direction. Very good. And now the last one, you're gonna turn externally. Try and get your fingers to face forwards, but any angle is fine. You're just, again, doing that external rotation. And then you're gonna give 5 circles in each direction on this. Keep straightening the elbows, keep relaxing the shoulders. 3, 4, 5, very good. You can shake that out. You can even give some real light open chain wrist circles at this point, just to kind of rinse through what you just uncovered. If you're doing this wrist open chain wrist mobility, you want to keep the orientation of your wrist the same while you go. Don't be doing this sort of thing. That's not a wrist circle. Just keep the knuckles facing forwards. All right. Beautiful. All right. So we got the wrist mob in place. Now we're gonna activate the core a little bit and stabilize the elbows. So find an elbow plank. Forearms are gonna be parallel. Elbows are gonna be underneath your shoulders, if not slightly in front of your shoulders. Wrap your ribs in, draw your belly button up, and then if this is in your wheelhouse, you're gonna press to a nice long plank and then come back down. Press back to a plank and come down, and you're gonna repeat for 10 reps. Don't let your elbows flare out to the sides. Keep your ribs wrapped in. Keep your pelvis tucked posteriorly, which is like I'm showing right now, as opposed to like this. Ooh, that hurts. Just to demo it. Tuck that pelvis. Bring your elbows down and press back up. If that's not happening for you today, then you can just do a long plank, just like where I ended up. You can just hang out there, however long works for you, to still be able to do the core work that I just described. Ribs wrapped, pelvis tucked posteriorly. You're pressing your chest away from the floor, right? So you just hang out here 30 seconds. Or you do this, the turbo plank. Once that's complete, we've got a little bit of a circuit. I'll demo one round. Yeah, one round. I'll do the whole thing, why not? You're gonna need to time yourself here. I'm gonna do it for 30 seconds, but your goal is to do eventually your goal is to do a chest to wall handstand. Now, for a minute. Now, I'm going to give you a few different options if a chest to wall handstand is not happening for you yet. So let's roll through. Like I said, ideally, you're doing a chest to wall handstand and you're timing it for 30 seconds. That's gonna look like this. Toes are pointed. My chest is to the wall, but it's not touching the wall. I'm pressing through my arms strongly, tucking my hips, doing all the stuff that I just did in the plank. That's all you did at first. So you can find it. 30 seconds. Now, here's a couple of options that you can do to work yourself up to that. The first progression would be a 45 degrees to the wall with your head up. So I'm still standing and I'm reaching to the wall with my hands. And I've got this mirror so I can tell when my body is in a completely straight line and I'm 45 degrees. And I'm gonna hold that. And even just that is work. Especially making that straight line through the arms and the shoulders. Keeping the chin drawn in. I know you can't see, keeping the chin drawn in. Right? So that would be the first, or the most basic level. 45 degrees, hands to wall. Level 2 would be 45 degrees, feet to wall. Same idea. Make your body a completely straight line. And just go like this. And hold that for 30 seconds. As a rule, I'd want you to be able to hold these variations for at least 45 seconds to a minute before then trying the chest to wall. So you're gonna have to play around with that a little bit to find out what version you're gonna be doing. And you're gonna do that same, you're gonna stick with it for 3 rounds. Like I said, we're demoing just one round today, because I gave you all these variations. That's the first exercise in the circuit. The second exercise you're gonna do is these fist rollouts. Still working those wrists. They need all the love that we can give them. We're gonna do 10 reps. Now, you've got a couple of options. Ideally, and this is difficult for me to even do, is you keep the fist and you roll straight out with straight arms. See, I have to bend my arms very gorilla-like in order to actually get the backs of my hands to the floor while maintaining that fist. But over time, and even throughout the sets, my arms can straighten a little bit. If this isn't even, if you can't, even get the back of your hand to the floor with plenty of elbow flexion, then you're just gonna release that fist and work it like this to start. Okay, so this would be the most basic. Then keeping the fists would be level 2, working towards being able to straighten your arms. See, there you go. Level 3, 10 reps. Final exercise of this circuit is gonna be first knuckle raise. I'll show the most advanced version and then we'll dial it back. 10 reps, you're gonna have your hands set up with your pointer fingers parallel. Pointer fingers parallel to each other, which is a slight external rotation, right? That's how your handstand also wants to look when you do it on chest to wall handstand. Pointer fingers parallel. Then set up in your plank and bring your palms up for 10 reps. First knuckle, so raising to the first knuckle. First knuckle raise. 10 reps. Don't cheat it by going one hand and then the other. That's not ingraining good movement habits at all. Do both at the same time, and if that's not an option for you, then from the plank, then you're gonna do it from a knee plank or from a quadruped position. So from a quadruped, just like this, that's gonna be the least amount of weight on your hands in order to do that first knuckle raise, right? If I'm setting up a knee plank, now I'm shifting more of my body weight onto my hands, so it's gonna be a little bit more resistance to press up. And again, finally, this version, coming all the way up and down. For 10 reps, whichever option you choose, you can do 10. And then once you're done with that, you're gonna go back to the wall and do your chosen variation for that as well. 3 rounds. And when you're done with that, celebrate.